Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Caroline Demore is here with us. You can watch her on MTV, The Hills, New Beginnings. She's got her own brand new business as well. Really nice to meet you, Caroline. How are you?
I'm very good. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me on.
So you got a lot of good stuff going on these days. Why don't we start with what's going on MTV? Because people know The Hills. We got the New Beginnings here, and you're new to the show. So what was that experience like for you?
Very surreal. I grew up watching the show. I grew up knowing a lot of the kids from the show. Brody and I went to high school together. I was best friends growing up with his little sister. So I just kind of knew a lot of the cast members throughout just growing up in LA. And then, it just kind of happened really organically. Normally it's like people are casted or are cast on these shows. And I ended up in it in a very organic way. So it was kind of surreal.
So it's one thing if you're circling around with people on the show, it's another thing to actually be on the show. So what was most fascinating to you about that?
You know, Also, my first experience doing a reality show like this was through COVID. So it was a really different experience. All of our fabulous trips we were supposed to go on ended up having to be super local. We didn't get to interact with the outside world. So it was like just us a lot of the time. And, it was definitely a really weird introduction, but for the most part, I mean, I think it went really well. I think it's a really exciting season. And I think, yeah, there's a lot coming up. Nobody's really seen anything of me yet. And rumor has it that we won't for a while. So I'm getting an easy introduction these first few episodes, which is very relieving.
Well, it's also the hardest part because you know what's coming and you have to sit here and keep your poker face on too.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I'm going to have a lot of cringeworthy moments where I'll just be hiding
I mean,
behind.
listen, that's reality TV, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. I think we just see a little bit of everybody on there with everything.
It really is. It's just a whole new world. Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself doing a reality TV show? You've done all these different things. Was that something you ever thought about?
Yeah. I mean, I think growing up in LA and, doing all these different ventures, kind of different things pop up. I was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians a couple times just with my friends, and I'd done, just some little guest appearances here and there on different shows throughout my history. But no, I wasn't ever thinking that I would be the new cast member of The Hills on MTV. But it came at the perfect time. I was really struggling after my divorce, and then COVID hits, and my Pizza Girl pasta sauce was literally taken off all the shelves. I don't know if you know this, but I got pretty far on my own. I had no outside funding, and I got into over 100 supermarkets just on my own. And then between the divorce and then COVID hits, and I can't even source my ingredients. And it was just like really, really difficult to watch my shelf space be empty, not be able to fulfill for all my customers. And it was just a really big heartbreak. And then thanks to, the show, I was really able to just say, okay, I'm going to get my shit together. And you can bleep that out, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I'm going to get myself together, and I'm going to come back strong, and I'm going to relaunch Pizza Girl. And I've been able to do just that. And as of next week, I believe you can find Pizza Girl in all the Gelsons in California.
Well, there you go. I mean, listen, I think we've all been battle tested during COVID, but all those things you just mentioned are really big challenges. So the fact that you're back is huge. And why don't we talk about Pizza Girl? So for those folks who aren't familiar with it, you got the jar right here. When they have the opportunity to pick up a jar, what can they anticipate? You got the organic ingredients. What should they know about it?
Yeah, so we are all organic, and it is so delicious. I worked very hard to make sure that, a lot of these companies, they really lack flavor if they're working on being a healthier product. I don't know why that is, but there's like this wide open gap for this, like, organic, health conscious, product. Everything that I had seen is just so kind of old school, or doesn't taste that great, or or just is super high in fat, or adding sugar. So we have no added sugar. We're only 2 grams of fat compared to like other big brands like Rayo's that are like 7 grams of fat. They're not organic. And my goal was just to bring something to everyone that was as flavorful as my grandmother's cooking. Like these recipes have been passed down from generation to generation. And yeah, I just really wanted to do something special that hasn't been done before. And that is Pizza Girl. You guys have to try it. You can try it. You can either go to pizzagirl.com if you're not in California. And in California, we'll be in all the Gelsons and one day at a time, one day at a time.
You know, it's really interesting. You mentioned your grandma. It's like how these recipes get passed down. Obviously, your father is big in the restaurant industry, but what does it mean to you that you can bring this to the mainstream after your family has enjoyed it for multiple generations here?
Yeah, it's so important. It's so magical for me to be able to do this. I mean, I feel like, Demore's Pizza should have had, Demore's sauce years and years ago, which, ultimately I tried to do for the company. It was really hard for me to work with my family company because I'm very bullheaded and I just know the way it's supposed to be. So I said, I'm going to go and do this on my own. And, I was up in my factory in Santa Paula with a hairnet on, just reworking these sauces to make sure that they were honest to our heritage, but then also brought into today's world by being all organic and just a healthier, delicious product. We small batch kettle cook these sauces. And when you open them and you see that extra virgin olive oil just like laying on top and you just shake them and pour it in, it is with a spoon out of the jar. It is the best tasting pasta sauce without a doubt. I challenge everybody to go grab a jar of Pizza Girl and grab a jar of whatever you've been used to and taste test them together. That's how confident I am about my product.
I like it. I like the confidence right there. And you got a great story in terms of your business and everything you're doing. What do you want folks to know about your story? Because you've done all these different things. You mentioned the challenges you've had. What's most important to know about you here?
You know what? I think the most important thing about me is like, I just really am unapologetically me. And I think that if more people just felt comfortable messing up and being in their own skin, I think that the world would be a better place. And I think it's just about taking time to focus on your mental health and get out of this crazy rat race, I like to call it, that we're in all the time. Like yesterday, I just slept in a Prius for 2 days up in Mammoth by the what are they called? Hot springs. And I didn't have my phone on for 2 days and I was dirty as hell and I slept in a car and I woke up in the most beautiful hot springs I've ever seen in my life. Mountains and like, I just say like, you have to get out of this cycle and you have to go and just be in touch with what really matters. Otherwise you're going to go insane. And I've been victim to going insane in this world before. So COVID definitely taught me like what really matters and to minimize and just be more of a minimalist. And yeah, that's my advice to everybody right now, because it's been such a hard couple of years. And I just feel like you will feel so much better if you just fall asleep in a forest or something.
Great words to live by. Caroline, really nice to meet you. Congrats on the success and look forward to talking to you down the road. All right.
Thank you so much for having me.